And it doesn't fully represent the way that they've changed this map. The sites have changed, or at least the bar one has quite a lot. They've made it 2, I believe. They've added some rotations in the map and outside of the map. So it's not like a drastically changed map, but it is very different. I'm looking forward to seeing if we actually have some variety in the site selection. I imagine SSG, they've always been pioneers of Clubhouse. They'll have something new for us today. Well, we'll find out as we get into the lobby. Band's halfway done, and they've been interesting so far.
Hibana and Kappa Tower gone. Valkyrie will join the fray. Last ban is likely going to be Wamai. Might be Kaid. Probably Wamai.
Whammy.
No, Michael, it's Wamai.
Actually,
it's Wamai. Banned out by Mirage. Those are the 4 operators that will no longer be in play. Interesting, but not exactly outside the norm. We have Flores, Maverick, and Thatcher all in play. That is something that doesn't always happen here on this map, so keep that in mind.
It's going to be a very different Clubhouse. I'm looking forward to seeing the Thatcher play, because not every team actually knows how to use Thatcher anymore. He's pretty basic. He's like the magic eraser of attackers, but still unusual, so that's neat. Oh, interesting.
No bar stock.
Oh yeah, no, it's a bottom floor defense first. I'm curious to see.
Give me it.
Well, bar stock, isn't that site gone? Like, didn't they remove that? I swear they removed that. They replaced it with 2 different sites.
I don't know what it's called. We can still call it Kitchen Bakery for crying out loud.
That's true. Yeah, to be fair. Anyway, bottom floor defense here to start things off with Mirage. I'm curious about why they 6-picked off that Bandit. When you have a Thatcher in play, Bandit is the best denial. That's so funny to say, because he so rarely is the best denial. But his main useful set of circumstances is when you need hard destruction denial quickly. And that's when Thatcher's in play, but since Thatcher's almost always banned, he's almost never relevant, and that's why you don't see a lot of Bandit. But they 6-picked off the Bandit into the Echo. I guess they're just not going to try to deny too much, instead opting for more direct means of denial.
There's the new look being shown to us.
Yeah,
Small changes that we talked about. I actually haven't had the ability to play the map. I've seen the map. I haven't had my own chance to play the map yet.
Nor I. I will hopefully get to. Unfortunately, the season launched today, and we had to show up early in the morning for, to get ready for this. So I haven't played it either. But I did read the notes. It's different on the sites. And there's rotations by the bar and a rotation outside of the building. So with that middle floor control well established for SSG, Mirage has mostly, I believe, been pushed down into the bottom floor. I'm not seeing anybody off-site. Yep, there you go, all 5 bodies on the bottom floor. That means they are officially in the fishbowl, and that's going to make them very exposed to vertical play.
Is that what we're calling it now, a fishbowl?
Well, I mean, it's basement of Clubhouse. It's one of the safer fishbowls to be in, but it's still just that.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Oh. There's not a lot of rotation opportunity, is what I'm trying to say.
It's a joke, again, for crying out loud.
Actually, no jokes, Parker.
You're a joke.
I know.
Skies on Hard Breach, by the way.
I can't help it.
Skies is on Hard Breach, which has put Bosco onto that maybe more fragging Hard Breach role of Ace. We see that when Hibana bans out, and when there was a couple times in the Mexico Major where this popped up, that it will be a Thermite and an Ace being brought out, especially for these bottom floor takes. Right. 2 of the 3 Selmas from Ace are required to get a single hatch open. No team is going to try to open all 3 hatches unless they have a hard breach tool at their disposal, because most of the time, they're going to try to get this church wall, and there's one of the Selmas going off. Loading had tried to prevent it by tossing out a C4, but it was thrown all haphazardly. In fact, a lot of Selmas, actually, mean that Loading will completely lose the coverage of the wall.
Well, yeah, except for that middle panel, which bugged out a little bit. The C4 was kind of embarrassing there from Loading. That miss is pretty rough, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. The nade caught by an ADS, but Benji, the first casualty, and he's followed swiftly by Loading. As he hits the floor, SSG are racking up these kills, but Nick's doing a great job over by Blue, getting 1 for his team, and nearly a second, but he doesn't land the headshot. On the second peek, he will, though. Down goes Houghton. With Skies on low HP, Mirage are suddenly in control. Skies on the entry fails. Nice double piece, though, from Bosky and Rampy. It's just Nyx, and he will be felled. Rampy on the long angle, and it's a great hold from Moto. I said Bosky. I meant Bosco.
I mean, Bosky works.
It's kind of cute, isn't it? Oh,
It's kind of cute. He's like, hey, Bosky, good job.
Nice round, Bosky.
Great job, Bosky.
Yeah.
Dylan Bosky. Nyx was really holding that one down inside of blue. 2 kills where they didn't know his position, and he makes them pay, but you can't really pivot out of blue in that instance. Where can he go? He's not going to go up the stairs and try to retake your Echo. It's going to take way too long for you to do that. You're going to make a ton of noise, and with the last player on your team, you're surrendering the bomb site, which you already have for the most part. The most crucial part of what we just witnessed came from the church wall take that SSG pulled off, because once that got opened up, the 3 players from Mirage who are either in church, floating by the hallway, or inside of blue all had to scramble to find another place to sit, and they can't all sit inside of Arsenal because that hallway is going to be held down. You've lost control of kitchen, the hatch is opened up, and somebody's going to be watching that church wall as well. So most of the damage that was done by Spacestation was done very early on, and Mirage were just sitting ducks.
10 seconds remaining.
Ducks are really cute when they sit.
5 seconds remaining.
Have you seen it? Have you seen a duck sit?
Attackers objective.
Yeah, of course I've seen a duck sit.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Interestingly, they're going to put their smoke on rafters, and we're bringing a Mira. Mira on this site is abnormal. Master extension means that you're going to need to divert one of your reinforcements to the single wall. This is kind of a different setup for Mirage. I like it. I like it a lot. I also like that the fact that they're incorporating Bandit into the lineup. So with Thatcher in play, Bandit is pretty much the only way to deny anything. He's the fastest of the denial operators. He just usually isn't relevant because of the lack of Thatcher. Here he is relevant, and that's nice. Here comes the juggle, and loading is going to be forced off by the nade. Open sesame, says Skies, and loading can do nothing about it.
Benji holding down Garage with what appears to be a single ADS. You best hope that they don't chuck 2 flashbangs up there at you, or else you're going to be completely blind. Doesn't look like there's really anything else to give him that line of sight and that hold. Down below, this is something that's been relatively commonplace, which is Nyx watching the soft wall. But that stock angle, we'll see somebody at the doorway, but he gets pushed off by a wayward drone. Main door. Nyx is going to just try and commandeer the hatch and takes out Fultz for his trouble. Still being droned out, but Nyx is undisturbed. He'll continue to just enact whatever pressure he wants against SSG. Taking out Fultz on that Zofia. Now 0-2. Not the great start that SSG needs.
Ooh, they know Nyx is still down here. Rampy is on the pool table, however, and this is going to give him a lot of noise. Yeah, those footsteps, they are loud. As you can see on full display, no SMG-11 available to Rampy any longer, and he's not even going to try to engage Nyx, who persists on the bar. With that rotation added to the bar, it is a much more viable roaming position. Benji with the gas canister still trying to hold on to Raptors. This is a difficult job. He's going to do his darndest. As his ADS is gone, he'll vault, and that is not the right call, as there are plenty of waiting arms ready for him downstairs.
He's caught by hot and cold, and SSG can now pivot. 45 seconds remaining in the round. They haven't been able to find Nyx the way they need to, so he can continue to exist there. He's got a Nitro cell as well, and one Mozzie drone that he can just pilot around, give him and his teammates some information. SSG have control of Garage the way they want to. The next step is to get in and possibly go for a default plant. So here's no Selmas left for Bosco either, so that mirror window is going to be a problem unless they can shoot around it. Hot and Cold goes down to Tommy, making a statement as his debut here, also wearing that new Nesk streamer charm. Loading finds one for his team as well. Another Dream goes down, no team ace available with Loading doing that, and Bosco will try to salvage the round, but it's a tough proposition. And as he vaults over the mirror window, Loading says, no thanks, I'll take a 3K instead. They might have lost the bottom floor, but Mirage answers back by taking the top.
Great round there from Loading, but frankly, in general, it was a strategy for Mirage to pull through for them. That strategy being the roamers. Mirage's roam was excellent and in no way countered by Space Station. They saw the roam and they decided to give up on even trying. That caused a lot of problems for Space Station when they went for the hit in the site. even though Space Station got rafter control. And that's really interesting. I want to point that out. I want to hammer that one in because usually if you're going to hit site directly, you do platform and rafters. Space Station got that control pretty easily, actually. But it wasn't enough. And it wasn't enough because of the mirror window setup, which aided loading and getting his 3K, and the roam, which nullified any kind of pincer that SSG tried to bring out later in the execution. I think it was Hot and Cold who was trying to come in through construction. That didn't work out. There were 2 roamers to receive him. So, well played to Mirage on that setup. It was really what resulted in their round win there. And the fact, of course, that SSG did not confront it in a very direct manner.
Well, take a look at this.
I'm looking.
Take a look at it.
I'm looking.
It's beautiful.
What is it, Parker?
It's technically not bar stock because it's not in stock anymore.
Right.
It's bar.
Bar. I like that.
Most,
we're
most
keeping
sites,
that.
by the way, we don't. Like most sites, we don't call it by what it actually is. By the way,
We're calling it bar from now on.
bar. Double bar. Which is what we also happen to call the coastline bomb site, as it's Sunrise Bar and Blue Bar. We just call it double bars. You'll find that a lot of times we're not actually going to call it that. It's very near the stage, and then the other one is by the bar. Very nice. And of course, Mirage is going to be the first team to give a crack at a new bomb site, making its debut here. Top level play.
Mm-hmm. It's always cool to see new stuff like this. And whoa, hang on a second. Fultz is real far up here on rafters. Now, he's going to make a lot of noise when he vaults that, so he's probably going to just try and wait as long as he can. If he makes a vault noise, Benji will punish him from Red Hall. So it's all about just keeping this control, maybe getting a cut kill. We'll see.
There goes the wall. So the sound cue could have been hidden by that explosion. Benji gives his position away by deciding to dump a couple bullets into the wall. That mag dump doesn't really do anything. He's worried about being vulnerable from the stairs. If he gets pushed off of this position, Fultz will need to test his reflexes. But the Jaeger cannot be shaken. Benji, an immovable object, staring down an unstoppable force. The jig may be up, though, by the way, but Hot and Cold is ready for him, watching the window, and very well played by SSG to flush him out.
Yeah, I gotta say, though, that part of that is on Mirage. I'll talk about that later, though, as Space Station have also opened up the Jacuzzi balcony. Second kill for SSG, and make it a third as they continue to sweep through Mirage's roam upstairs. It's now just Thomas and Dream. This setup on the new site clearly is not the play for Mirage. It has been swiftly and easily countered by Space Station. Thomas trying to challenge from the bar, and he's got a lot of work ahead of him to make this one work out.
Thomas will continue to maneuver over, and his head being spotted. That's an easy kill for Fultz. Picks up his second kill to break the fact that he hadn't found one yet. And how about that? A flawless round from Space Station. The very first attempt that we have seen for this bomb site, and we might as well have not gone to it because the defenders weren't able to muster up a single kill.
All right, so here's the problem, Parker. What we just saw Mirage try to do was essentially the same thing you do on a gym defense. It's a cache extension, yeah? But note, the cache extension had 1 player. Normally you need 2. You need 1 inside of cache, possibly 3. 1 inside of cache, though, 1 by top red, 1 by construction if you want 3. You could take the top red player out and use wall denial to stop red from being a factor if you want, but that's less lethal. So Mirage did 1, just top red. That is mega risky, and that player got punished really quickly because he had no support from his teammates. He got cut from construction window. That's not going to happen if you've got players by construction and cache, but that's exactly what we saw. Now, why is there only 1 player on that extension? It's because you also have to have somebody in the site itself. If you're defending on gym, you don't have to have somebody like, well, yeah, you're going to have people in the site, but you're not worried about that because the site is gym, where you all, on that site, have roamers. So it's too much ground to cover. So trying to convert a gym defense strategy to I guess a bar strategy, yeah, it's not going to work. There's just too much space that you need to hold. They need to be a little bit tighter on that kind of roam by cache if they want to have success in that kind of setup.
5 seconds to insertion.
Let him know.
Well, I mean, we all saw the problem, I think, clear as day.
I mean, I'm glad that you pointed that out because that's what I was thinking too. It's not unusual for teams to defend the bottom floor, Church Arsenal, and then have either a cache, CCTV, or gym hold. You know, we've seen defensive setups where you keep 1 player on that basement floor and everybody else is roaming. The problem with defending that double bar bomb site is that you can just walk in through one of the two doorways and you're basically in the site. There are so many ways to get there. There's the double door that leads to the stage. There's the door that leads to strip that very easily can go through billiards or through the bathroom. So there's a lot of work that you need to do as a defender. But it really did seem like they were only committed halfway to that top floor defense, and that maybe if they could have fought back to a greater degree, it would have allowed the players playing on the site a fighting chance. But that's just speculation, of course, because the bomb site is back downstairs. Mirage were unable to win this bomb site back in round number 1. We'll see if it's a different story this time with a minute gone in round number 4.
A bomb has been located.
Oh my. The timing could not have been worse. Oh no, and that's a little bit of, you said rust on the wheel. I think that's appropriate there. One of the exothermic charges being destroyed there means that they are going to get one fewer drop open, and that is a rough situation for SSG.
A bummer for them, absolutely, but some losses. And the big thing as well for SSG was the entire execute that they had thrived off of that church wall, taking out the electric claw and any of that gadgetry from the defenders that stopped the hard destruction from happening, and then opening it up and forcing Mirage back. Now, it's going to be much more challenging to do that given that early loss for SSG. And they managed to open up the hatch, but not really more than that as they begin their assault. And down goes Nyx. I don't know what Nyx was doing, getting picked off by Rampy in that way. Mirage now in trouble as they're losing some very valuable map control. Sky's getting the diffuser down. He survives it and then dies, or at least gets downed. Secured by Dream, and it's an absolute mess, Michael. Everybody in on this. Benji into a 1v3. Nyx was in this similar position, and a very similar position indeed, as this is where Nyx tried to hold it together. But the difference is that Spacestation are far more spread out, but just as punishing. And SSG will take their third round so far through 4.
I will say Space Station are still the clubhouse team that you expect them to be, at least from what we've seen so far. So I'm not surprised by what's happening here. This is going to be a tactical timeout from Mirage. They need to reassess, as typically Clubhouse is a defender-sided map, and they've won a single defense of the last 4. That last round, pretty much textbook Clubhouse basement attack. I love the way that SSG focuses down the objective, just like that. They put all their effort, all their attention on, okay, we're going to get that default plan off in Cubby. And the denial from Mirage was just too darn slow. They weren't expecting such assertive plays from SSG. You got to expect that.
I think it's a good time to take this time out. You've tried a lot, and, well, you've come up empty, with the exception of Cash and CCTV, which was a very formidable hold by Mirage, I will say that much. Those two church defenses, I think, tell a greater story, though. If you're not capable of defending that bottom floor site, long seen as one of the most defendable sites on this map and the safe haven for so many teams throughout this site rotation, then you are in trouble. Obviously, Cash and CCTV is open. That's exactly where Mirage is going to go, and they're going to try to replicate that same success from round number 2. I suspect a team like SSG will understand what went wrong and be able to work around it, especially since the tactical timeout benefits them too. They're going to be able to talk, they'll confer with their coach Lycan and hope for the best. Rampy flex picks off of that Zofia. He'll go with a Maverick, which means that there are 3 hard breachers now available for Space Station. He's not sacrificing the nades, though, as Maverick brings them to the table. So SSG, I guess, have an insurance plan if something goes awry with one of these hard breachers.
Something that needs to be discussed here, Parker, is the fact that we have not seen the Bird Lady yet. She has been unpicked so far through the NAL. As you mentioned, she is available for play. And frankly, I think most of it comes down to the fact that she just doesn't directly participate in the utility game whatsoever. Yeah, she can unpunish your players. Absolutely, she can bring somebody from the brink of death back into full fighting form. And do a lot of other stuff. I mean, she's got a really good gun. She's a well-equipped operator. But, I mean, you're sacrificing something, no matter what it is. Look at the lineup right now. Nyx with the first kill, by the way. Down goes Rampy. What's owing? What are you owing about?
Oh, just that he took out Rampy so early on. That was all. It was a brazen play by Nyx.
Yeah, that's your top performer and one of your hard breachers dead to start off the round. Not a great start.
And man, we touched upon the fact that he 6-picked onto the Maverick because I wanted to see what he would be able to do. And all for naught. We're not going to be able to see it here. So
Next, yeah, Nick's heard you there.
yeah. You want to play Maverick? Watch this.
You know, it's something of a dream to see Dream and Thomas on the same team, by the way. And I don't mean that, like, the vibes that both of those players... Oh, Fultz with the kill downstairs. And he's actually vying for a second as Nyx is challenging for the bar. Oh, what a shot! That's the second for Nyx, and nearly a third, but Bosco will put him on the floor. I was going to say Dream there, but it seems like it's real for SSG as they even out the man count.
Well, Bosco the savior for his team in that particular instance. You've still got 2 hard breachers up, so hard knocks for Space Station, but at least some luck in the fact that it was Fultz and Rampy. Bandit tricking going out, and it looks like loading was successful. He'll get out of there, but one of the panels still opens up nonetheless.
Yeah, so they did a double there. He got the Selmas, he didn't get the Exo. Either way, he was screwed, but the wall is open much larger than if he had gotten the other panel. Unfortunate. No real way to know when there's all that noise coming at you at once.
Extremely nice to see Bandit back, by the way. He has been absent at the top level for very, very long and has only been on a couple maps on a couple sites. Now he seems to be, at least through our first 2 maps that we have on Cafe and now Clubhouse, more of a staple, which is frankly wonderful. And I suspect that will correlate with Mute's pick rate dropping too, but we've still seen some Mute anyway. But you have to keep watch of it because just 2 maps is not enough for us to judge.
I think it mostly has to do with Thatcher, to be honest. Again, as you see Thatcher's presence go up, you'll see Bandit's presence go up along with, because Thatcher as an operator is most hard countered. Actually, the only counter hit Thatcher is a Bandit. So, like, the live tricking that Bandit can do is something that the other operators can't do in a way that circumvents EMPs. Anyway, I mean, we only have 30 seconds left as we hit the very end of this round.
And more Bandit tricking going on. Is loading successful on that wall? It sure sounds like it. They'll lose the mirror window in front of him, and then he gets punished by Hot and Cold. On a shred of HP with only 15 seconds remaining, SSG have 2 more members of Mirage to find. A 3v2 is an excellent position, but they're going to have to vault in the window. And no! Benji misses the opportunity. A golden one presents itself, so now he'll have to vault. The role's reversed. Down he goes. Dream will need to clutch out. He does so with that and beautifully takes it. As bad luck for Space Station, the Nitro Cell does it for Mirage. Still an SSG lead, but it's 3-2.
By a hair, Parker, by a hair. And it looked like it could have gone a lot easier for Mirage if their presence on the on Rafters had actually mattered for something. And it ended up not being a huge factor. But at least when he vaults, you see he gets that kill right there. That's the crucial moment, because that's what starts the trade chain for SSG. And Dream playing the clock masterfully downstairs. He knows it's a window attempt. He's pre-placed a C4 there. He knows exactly what you're doing, Space Station. Dream is ready. And as I was going to say, having Dream and Thomas on the same team, that is masterclass vibes. They have both always been some of the most fun players to play with, frankly. And, you know, I speak from experience, having, played FPL with it. With at least Tom's plenty, and it's always cool to see when you have 2 players who are good at the same thing, hyping up your team and getting them in the right mental mindset on the same team. It's just gonna, I think it's gonna compound, Parker.
Well, we've been treated to 2 relatively close matches thus far. It took 11 rounds for BC versus XSET, and now here, Space Station and Mirage are as close as it's going to get. Now, the only real question I have is that, are we in for another defender-sided clubhouse? If the answer to that is yes, then the second half might be a runaway freight train for SSG. But right now, let's just savor the moment. Savor how close it is. Thomas is doing well for Mirage. I would say in terms of calling and what he brings to the team for leadership, he is their worst performer right now, tied with Benji. But I haven't really seen any strong performances from any of the players that have debuted today. NVK and Prod disappointed for XSET. Jay did what he needed to do, but in terms of finding the scoreboard, he wasn't where he needed to be. Or wasn't where people maybe expected him to be. He was exactly where he needed to be in terms of support. Young Alex stood out, of course. Skies is 1 and 3. Thomas is 1 and 5. A lot of these players coming in are not coming in fragging roles as well, so something to keep in mind.
Yeah, so Skies is pulling in the same role somewhat that we saw. Not really, but kinda. I mean, he's on support. I don't know. Based on his positioning, it's hard to say. I don't think he's really doing the same thing. I think SSG have completely upended their playstyle to an extent. But I want to see more Spacestation before I say that as a definitive. This is just early glances, and one map is not a good indication of any player's individual performance as well. So from today, we're not going to have a clear, definitive path for the future of all these newer players or returning players.
Half of the round now done here in a very fateful and pivotal round as our very first gym bedroom defense pops up. And we can say this for the first time on Clubhouse in a long time. Every single site has now been played.
Oops.
And
looks like a crash to me.
Something went wrong.
Or networking. I think it's networking, but I'm not sure. Can't really say.
We're still here. I've just scrambled to put on clothes, by the way.
Yeah, because of course you didn't have any on.
As I was asked. In my defense, we did not know we were live. But
yeah, the start there? Yeah, I know.
Hey, it actually looks like it's back. All right. Well,
okay.
I don't know if you see it, but I see it.
I gotta connect again. I gotta reconnect.
It is absolutely back, Michael. So the good news is that we didn't really miss too much. Everybody's being punished. Down goes Hot and Cold as Loading manages to take him down. Skies will swing in pursuit. Loading is gone, a 3v3. 30 seconds still to go. Rampy disoriented, but for a moment by Fultz's Guzmat. Rampy will continue to move upwards. Over in logistics, there's Amira. He gets caught on the edge of the wall, almost taken out for it. Dream swings onto Fultz, traded off immediately. Diffuser goes down. Now, Overwatch, Oversight, as they decide to collapse on Skies. Rampy in a 1v2, but Skies had taken down Thomas, and down goes Nyx by Rampy. It's an absolute mess, but SSG takes that first half 4-2.
An absolute mess is right, Parker. That was a calamity for Mirage as well, as SSG manage it. Looks like we're going to see a pause here. This one, I believe, is a technical pause. Not sure what exactly the problem is, but anyway, that last round, the trades back and forth just ending up favoring Space Station. Despite how messy they were, they managed to stay on top. I'm not really sure what happened in the middle there. Yeah! Get hyped up. We got Mirage versus SSG. You didn't see that one coming.
Nope. What if it was just different teams?
Yeah, what if we brought in Astralis right now and they played against TSM and we switch over to Skyscraper?
Well,
anyway.
All right. You see it on your screen. Church, Arsenal, downstairs. They will go. And we will see if it lasts longer than
Defenders protect from being
last time.
by attackers.
Yeah. Nobody say it. Nobody say HUD bug in the chat.
Cross your fingers.
No HUD bug.
Are they crossed?
Mine are crossed.
Mine are
Yes.
crossed.
Very much crossed. All right. So bottom four defense. Seems like SSG is gonna be going the same thing. They have to because rehost rules and all that. They're gonna be setting up. They could set up differently if they want to, but they're setting up pretty much the same. It's a top four defense here. You're gonna get reinforcements upstairs. It's the SSG roam. Void the castle.
10 seconds to go.
Okay. Last time when the bugs were announced, they were announced, I think, 10 seconds into the action phase, so we need to get past about that mark, and then we're good.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
My fingers were crossed, and look at that. It worked.
We got 2 seconds left. Hang on. All right.
All right, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew.
Wait,
All
what time
right.
does it say for you at the top? It says 2:43 for me.
Yeah, about the same.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Sky's taking some damage very early on, getting shot through the wall from Dream. I don't know if he's aware of that or not, but he's now going to put down a jammer and say, well, you can't find me.
Love the little
He's got a very
LEDs.
easy way to rotate into logistics as well.
Mhm.
Mirage are looking to take control of that jacuzzi wall, and they've done just that. It's already been opened up. Nobody's watching it. Dream outside on drone. Thomas down below, just by strip.
Rampy's trying to support with those pests, make it harder to drone through the balcony. See if that works out for him and his team. A little bit of pressure there from the server window. Nobody actually watching that from Mirage, and Rampy's just going to keep peeking this. This is very dangerous, but he does not seem to care.
This guy's is finally taken down now by Nyx, as that's the very first pick here, and a strong one from Mirage to begin. Rampy taking some damage as well. Fult's looking to re-engage. Drone goes out, and he knows that there's one inside of the bathroom and puzzlingly misses the shots onto Thomas. Mirage right now taking control.
Right.
They've got momentum, motivation.
And the man advantage. They're going to be in every single way in control of this round. It's not over yet. The real problem here for SSG is the fact that Rampy is so low. It's unlikely he's going to be able to win a gunfight moving forward. C4 pre-placed there for Houghton, and he's going to open up underneath the kitchen door. So what he's hoping to do is, if somebody challenges from that kitchen door, they'll run far off of the angle, and Houghton's hoping to catch him with the C4. It's kind of clever. But that's not the moment yet. We've only got a minute left here, but Mirage is still taking their time, trying to be careful not to waste their advantage.
45 seconds remaining. Nyx will be the one to head down the stairs now. G36 in hand. Rampy's made his way safely down to blue, watching that mirror window. He's got a line of sight over towards blue as well if he needs to from that mirror window, and he can rotate in or out. Bosco trying to smoke the bottom of main stairs. Successful thus far. 25 seconds left for him to toss out one more toxic canister. Hot and Cold takes one down.
Oh, no.
An unfortunate team kill from Mirage. That's going to hurt. But you managed to stop Bosco. Hot and Cold still posted up in this spot. One's over in blue. That'll be Rampy's job to take them down. Hot and Cold getting fed bullets from Nyx. Benji, line of sight with Rampy. Rampy misses it. Still collapses on it. Hot and Cold gets it as well. Michael, what a mess that was. But Hot and Cold and Rampy, they work together effectively, and SSG goes up 5-2.
Yeah, frankly, around that, SSG had no right winning, but they did, so good for them. All right, let's talk about Benji right here. He's given an opportunity, and it just slips away. Oof, that is rough. He only needed to land a single bullet is the real problem there for Benji. He couldn't land a one. Yikes. More than that, though, went wrong for Mirage, frankly. Across the board, pretty abysmal use of their time and their man advantage. The team kill, let's not forget about that.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I mean, when everything goes wrong, it's easy to just blame the team that it goes wrong for. I do think it's a story of two different tales here, though. SSG played very well. You can expect them to win the gunfights, even when their back's against the wall. Rampy's gunfight at the end there against Benji is a good example. But then also, Mirage left themselves so open to that. It's rough all over, Parker. That round should have gone to Mirage, and we should be at a 4-3 right now.
Well, I mean, I feel like there were a couple rounds that went that way as well earlier on.
Yeah.
There was at least one or two that were very close, and Mirage had everything going for them until they didn't. And it was the one time that I can recall was on that bomb site. It was Church and Arsenal. So, I mean, how many games and how many championships would be different if one or two rounds that were supposed to go to a team's favor actually did, right?
Right. That is the story of Siege at times. We talk about how weighted rounds are in Siege compared to many other games, and that is a significant factor to consider. We saw, I mean, on full display, we just saw that, right? 5-2? Oh my, that is a tall order. 4-3? Literally night and day. I mean, it's the opposite. 4-3 is like, oh yeah, you're doing fine. You'll be okay. You're one round away.
If you're an attacker, if you're an attacker and you're up 4-3, it means that one of their sites is quite weak, and that you are able to win what is presumably their best site first. Because most teams are going to go to their best site right out the gate. They're not going to keep it until they've lost their two weakest sites. So, in this position, I mean, you win it, you take one away. That sets you up well for the very next site. But anyway, that's all just speculation here. We'll keep a close eye on what's happening in front of us. Space Station looking to push to match point, but they need to prevail here in round number 8. They brought some tools to do so, and Skies will be playing on that clash, as this is a quite stalwart defense over on Jim and Master.
Ash charge from below to try and possibly move some players on SSG, maybe get a shield as well. That's Nyx downstairs doing his darndest with his utility. Gas canisters already coming out to delay. Those are very early gas canisters. We still have about a little over a minute here to work with if you're the attacking team. So those gas canisters being wasted now. Quite good. Bosco, though, is one of the better smokes in the world. You can expect him to make the best use possible of that utility.
He's used 2 of those toxic canisters with a minute to go as well, Michael. So there's going to be, and there goes the last one, there's now a full minute where the site will not be blanketed by that toxic canister. All the while this has happened, Nyx has worked his way up the stairs, and look at that. He catches the Jaeger of Fultz looking the wrong way. There's more for him, but it's Mirage dominating the kill feed. Everybody goes down, leaving Rampy in a 1v4, and he's not going to get out alive. Say goodbye. Mirage are able to answer back, denying Space Station match point. And they win a very crucial attacking round.
That's kind of funny because Nyx was like right next to the clash, which was directly behind him, and he never turned around to shoot him. I assume he was just trying to focus on the player he knew to be in office, but it's just kind of funny. They were like practically hugging each other. You didn't really see it on screen, but you could hear it. So it'll be a rehost. It's once again it's the HUD bug. This is a bug that was identified in the test server, and it apparently made it to the live build as they pushed this build out today. So it's a known quantity, this bug. You can expect it to probably, exist moving into the rest of the day. We actually got really lucky, Parker. Map number 1, where I don't think we saw it at all. Maybe once. But from my understanding, this is the bug that will pop up many times throughout a map, so we can expect to see probably more of this going into the next 2 matches. But we'll hopefully not. So, only Siege can really tell us the story there.
Yeah, that's why you, once again, you cross your fingers and hope that it doesn't happen.
Luckily, I will say, we do have the paused feature. Parker, you remember what it was like when you got like one player had a sound bug or something and you had to rehost the entire lobby? What we just did behind the scenes, this is really cool. We didn't used to be able to do this. We just paused. The guy with the problem left, rejoined, and now we get to pick up right where we left off. And everyone would be sitting here for another 10 minutes if we go back a few years. And it's nice that we don't do that anymore.
Oh, we now have everybody back in the lobby so we can get underway. The issue seems to be resolved, and we'll head in and see what happens next. It's a successful defensive victory of the bottom floor for Space Station. Their attempt at Gym Master does not go as planned, so now they just going to shuffle over to the other top floor bomb site and go over to Cache and CCTV. SSG has long ran this Mira on multiple bomb sites, and with the defensive bans being both Valkyrie and Wamai, that opens up Mira. It also allows, with the attacker bans, Maverick, Flores, and Thatcher, if teams so choose. Now, Flores might not be in vogue, and in this particular instance, Mirage are not running a Thatcher, but we have seen old Thatchy Boy a number of times thus far, and a Maverick appears. We almost had an opportunity to see it when Rampy was on Maverick, but he got spawn peeked by Nyx, so womp womp.
Womp womp. We'll see if Maverick ends up playing a significant role in this match. He hasn't yet, as you mentioned. 1 round away from match point here for SSG. 2 more rounds for Mirage to tie this up. That's how you do the maths. The mirror window downstairs is kind of interesting for Space Station. It suggests to me that they're trying to prioritize the downstairs roam and potentially a late retake of Garage. You don't really see that a lot, but I like the idea. It looks like Mirage is reading into it, though. You can see how they're cutting off, especially by bar. That tells me that they're aware of the potential for lounge pressure to upset the round, and they're focused on it. I like that.
Oh, there go a couple of the pieces of utility from Benji's. Oh, loading is in trouble from below, and Fultz decides to break things open, and there you go. The fun is all his. Down goes one player from Mirage. They need a strong performance from a Sledge on this particular site, but not the most pivotal operator, so hey. It's not terrible, but you sacrifice that first pick. You get it back, though, in the name of Bosco. Excellent play from Thomas, taking matters into his own hands. He had a bit of a slow start on defense, but his stat line since coming on to attack is significantly better, and he's trying to make up for lost time.
So even now, as we hit the last 95 seconds, and this is not terrible for either team, really. I do think the pressure is going to start mounting here for Mirage, though. They opted not to trick the wall, and instead they're going to use an EXO to open it up. Just making those tiny little holes with the Maverick is good enough. I think the reason they brought the Maverick is just in case there's a bandit in play. Mavericks circumvents the tricking. You don't need to worry about it. Second kill for Fultz as he descends into Lounge. Down goes Nyx, who is all alone, so no refrag.
You can get right back up as well. Still patrolling this mirror window on the soft wall. Explosives in hand. It could very easily be taken out, but no, before Benji can pull the trigger, Fultz is better. And now he'll swing onto the opening as well, looking for yet another. Grenade goes up from Thomas, and down goes Rampy. A coordinated effort as both Thomas and Dream are going to have to get out of there alive. Fultz has 3 kills. It is entirely possible that he collects the remaining 2, and 40 seconds are on the clock for him to find them, as Mirage will now reposition. Go outside, over by Kennels, and they're going to look up at the opening that was created. Perfect timing for those toxic canisters to go out from Skies. He is on the smoke this time, not Bosco, and there's still 2 toxic babes remaining. 20 seconds left, but an ADS catches it. Oh my, Thomas frustrated with that one. I am certain it's going to leave Dream all alone, potentially watched by a bulletproof camera. They'll look to push from the same direction. Dream gunned down by Skies, and Hot and Cold in on it too. Those 3 kills for Fultz, though, were still quite so instrumental. Even if he doesn't get the ace, his team gets match point.
You see Fultz, as per usual. Oh no! A rare smile! Wow.
Fultz smiling, clip it.
No, that wasn't full. Well, I mean, yeah, but...
Fultz is smiling, clip it.
No. Never mind, it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure that was Bosco, actually. But anyway, it's rare for both of them. It's mostly Rampy who ends up smiling between the 3. That's weird because, you know, you look a little bit back on SSG for their lineup, and having these 3 players remain the core in the long run, you go far enough back, it just didn't seem like that would be the case. And here we are. Bosco, Fultz, and Rampy. The definition of SSG, as it seems. With Hot and Cold coming in and Skies as well, I mean, you've got a very legendary team formed here.
They're certainly playing up to the level that you'd expect from them, even if there have been some missteps. I mean, how many weeks has it been since the Mexico Major? And you get Skies onto the roster. He was only officially announced in the last 48 hours, so...
It was very last minute, it seems.
It's not that they've just started playing with him. They've been scrimming with him for quite a while. The Reddit detectives actually discovered that he was playing under an alias with the team in place of Thinking Nate a couple times, and obviously shout out to you Reddit detectives for finding that. They are sleuthing at a 5th grade level, Michael, and it is great to see them finally growing up.
Yes.
Scouring all available information to figure out who the new player is on the team. But anyway, the big thing is that they haven't had a ton of time to adjust with him. Ditto with Thomas on Mirage. So both of these teams are nowhere near their final form, and they will continue to improve as they settle in. Not all roster moves are made for immediate dividends, and will not pay immediate dividends either. That said, SSG have looked mighty fine, and the team has been playing well. Even if Skies statistically has not been the top performer on the squad, I think it's fair to say that he's been doing his role exactly as you need.
He'll fit into the team in the long run. This is the same thing as what we talked about with NVK. A lot of the time when you see these players that have been playing at a professional level for a long time, the old players, the OGs, you could say, it just takes them more time to get acclimated, frankly. Give it a year. It'll be fine. All right, so Space Station are on match point. Mirage trying to stop that from happening, and there you go. Down goes Fultz. So... it's going to be an early pick. That's a really good pick to start things off.
Very, very nicely played, and taking out Fultz, who had been an absolute terror in the previous round, and great at wasting time on that Vigil in previous defenses as well, is an excellent, excellent first pick for them. Leaving 90 seconds left for Mirage to get into the bomb site. This is a Church and Arsenal defense, and it looked like Mirage were the better team here, but if you recall, Space Station were successful on their previous defense. There goes the bar hatch, and a quick drop could come in, but it won't, as SSG have a fairly decent spread in the two bomb sites. Nobody playing connector, nobody playing by blue, just sitting 2 in church, 2 in arsenal. But it looks like there might be a slow move towards dirt tunnel, anticipating that with a Maverick on the board, they could go for that split push, and hot and cold will watch it.
Church, arsenal. Charsenal. Charsenal.
I don't know what you're doing. But anyway, Rampy's engaging over on blue stairs. He'll get stunned out from the wall that's been opened up and needs to be very careful because Benji has an eye on him through that soft wall. And once again, this caliber-based destruction coming in. Lots of bullets in that LMG. Still 80 remaining. Rampy watching the narrow opening, and he takes down Dream, looking for another. The body continues to fall, and a nitro cell could be their undoing. They're going to swing wildly, and SSG are cleaning up. Thomas takes one down, but Rampy buries him, and with him goes the rest of the match. SSG 7-3 over Mirage.
Okay, so I was hoping for a 7-4 maybe. 7-3 is a lot more one-sided than I was anticipating. Space Station take the win. Congratulations to Space Station. Well-earned win. And yeah, it looks like they're comfortable with their current existing roster. Skies didn't have the most amazing performance, but really, what does it matter? As long as the team is winning, I think that's the main focus. It's about the structure of the team and how Skies' addition is going to upset that structure. I could say that I don't think it's upsetted Space Station structure too much, although they do play slightly differently than I am used to.
I mean, we are just going to witness what these teams do moving forward, but obviously SSG seem to be on a very similar level to where they were before. I am fascinated to see what Mirage is able to do with Thomas on this team, and he actually was their best performer in the tail end of that matchup. Did it catch up to where he was in the first half? No, not necessarily, but there weren't really any strong standout performers for Mirage. Thomas, I think, ends that as the statistical best player for their team, but it's hard to tell given the big break that we had between the two halves. Other than that, though, Space Station picked up right where they left off. They obviously are going to be playing with a vengeance given their disappointing exit at the Mexico Major, and Sky seems to have slotted into that role quite well through just one map.
Yeah, I want to see more. For me, it's all about the long game. I think this whole stage is going to be how we use, what we use to kind of define where everybody stands. Obviously, you know, literally in the standings, but also in where these players are slotting into their team and how those play styles are going to change over time. But that's it for Parker and I, and that's it for these first 2 matches of the Stage 3 of this NAL season. Throw it to a break before coming back to the desk.